So in this video, I'm going to show you how to work with track changes. This allows you to see just exactly what changes your editor has made. Now, first of all, I'm going to go up to the View pane and I'm going to turn on Navigation pane. Okay, that brings up down on the left-hand side all the headings that you've got in your document. And I talked about that in another video. It allows us to move around in the document without any difficulty. So that's an important thing to have up there when you're trying to work with your document. So, track changes. We go to the Review panel, right? And here's the track changes here. Okay, so if we want to put track changes on, which is what I do when I come to edit your work, I'll click on track changes. What that means is, and I'm just going to go down to this part here, that means that when I make a change, for instance, I'm adding in here my friend George and I. You get a red mark on the left-hand side here. That shows that some change has been made here. Now, to see what change has been made, you go to that Review pane, and here next to track changes, instead of having simple markup, which is what's there at the moment, you click on all markup. Okay, and here you can see what's been added. There it is in red. Now, if I want to delete something, so I'm going to make it my friend George, and I'm going to delete that. There you go. It shows up as a line through it to show you what's been removed. So if I then make a lot of changes and you want to see exactly what I've done, that's how you do it. You go to the Review and you click on all markup. To see what it looks like finished, you go simple markup, and there it is looking quite normal. Okay, so for instance, if here I want to change the punctuation, not that I'd be likely to do that. Here you see there's another red line indicating that on this line here there's been some change. Okay, now you can leave all markup. See, I'm going up here to simple markup. I'm changing it back to all markup, right? And you can see what I've added. Yeah, and here if I delete something again, you can see what I've deleted. Okay, so if you want to really look closely at what I've done on a manuscript, you keep the review, the track changes review at all markup. Okay, now down here there's also something called a reviewing pane. If I click on that, we get here a pane that shows what the changes have been. Okay, so we've got Charlie Newland inserted my friend George. Charlie Newland deleted my ex-friend, yeah? And here's a whole lot of other things. So if I click down here, I've got Charlie Newland commented, and when I click on that, that goes to a comment here, okay, which is some comment that I made. So you can use this pane here, and I'll just get rid of the navigation pane for now. You can use this revision pane here to have a look at where the comments are that I might have left for you. Okay, right? And then you can, you know, if you want to delete the comment, you can delete it, and there it's not there anymore. Okay, so going back to the beginning, and you see how I'm just using this revision pane to click through. So here, right, it'll take me to the place where I deleted that full stop. Okay. Now, when you come to decide whether you like my edits or not, and whether you want to keep them or not, you go to the Review pane. okay? And here you've got something called accept and reject, okay? So my cursor is here, okay? So I'm going to put it there, right at the beginning of this change. And if I click on the arrow beneath accept, I have these options. I can accept and move to the next, or I can just accept this change. I can accept all changes, and I can accept all changes and stop tracking. So at the very end, when you've finished checking and you're pretty sure that you like what's been done, you can accept all changes and stop tracking. So we'll turn off the tracking, okay? But it's a good idea when you've got a line edit not to just accept all the changes straight away, but to actually have a look at each one individually and decide whether you want to keep it or not. So if I decide I want to keep that one, this is where I go, and I can accept and move to the next. But I actually don't want to accept that change, so I'm going to go to reject here. And underneath here we have reject, and it's the same thing. You've got all the options: reject and move to the next, reject change, reject all changes, and stop tracking. Now that's not advisable because you will have paid your editor, so you don't want to reject all their changes. But there might be some times when the editor has misunderstood something that you've said, so you might want to reject that. So here I'm going to click reject and move to the next. So it's removed that addition that I made, and it's moved to the next change, which here is a deletion. Okay, now I actually want to also reject that deletion because I want to use my ex-monk friend, not my friend George. So back in the review pane, here's reject, reject change and move to the next. So I rejected those two. And here I am down here at the next one. So with this one, because I am an idiot, I'm going to accept this change. There you go. But I didn't move to the next. I just accepted that. And that's useful when you want to, be really sure. Because if you've accepted something and you're not sure, you can always go to... I've got it up. Oh, it's always up here, isn't it? You've got your undo button. Okay, that's always up the top there, I think, is your undo button. And that takes us right back to where we are. So I can now change my mind and decide that I'm not an idiot by going review and reject that change and move to the next. Okay, and I want to reject that one because there should be a full stop there. Okay, so that's how you work through. Now, sometimes you might find that you've got a really lot of red marks, and it gets very confusing and you don't know anymore what the changes look like. Okay, so when that happens, you just go back to review, and instead of all markup, you go back to simple markup, and it'll show you what the finished thing will actually look like. Okay, so I think that might be it. I'm going to go back to all markup though, and because I don't actually want to mess up this manuscript here, I'm going to go back to review, and I'm going to reject. Oops, I better put my cursor there. Review, reject, change. Okay, so now when you go through and accept and reject changes, that's called cleaning up the manuscript. Okay, and here you've got, you can see up here, we've got track changes. If you want to turn it off, you just go underneath it, right? That turns it on, right? When you want to turn it off, you click the down button and click it again, and the track changes is off. Okay, now you want to turn it off when you're finished working on the document, and you don't want it just to keep on coming up with changes being tracked. Okay, but when you get your document back from me, you want to go to review. Okay, it will already be set on track changes. you want to go here and you just need to decide whether you want the review pane up or not. Okay. And whether you want to see all the markup, all right, or just a simple markup. Now, again, the reviewing pane is useful to see what's been done and to see where the comments are. So that saves you from scrolling all the way through. And again, if you are cleaning up a document, you will go to the comment and you will delete it. Okay. Track changes. Yes. So that's pretty much it for working with track changes. And here I'm going to go to this, you see over here on the revision pane, there's one more comment there, and if I was cleaning up the document I would go there, which is where I have, and there's the comment. You have to click on the comment before you can delete the comment. Okay, so there, review, delete. I don't know why it's not deleting. It should be deleting that comment. I've just clicked up and there, review. Okay, I don't know why it's not deleting it. Normally it would delete the comment. Click, 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 click. Okay, that's weird. If you want to reply to a comment, here's a comment here. See this little box here? And you click on that, you can reply. Which means that, for instance, say I had bookmarked this place here. And if you remember the bookmarks you can find under insert. Yeah, there's bookmarks there. Look, there's a whole lot of bookmarks. Okay, so if I wanted to go here, I'd click go to. Okay, but let's just assume that we've gone here, that there's a bookmark that's brought me here, and you go here and you find that I've said something and you want to reply, then this is the place. You just click that little button up there and you can reply to what I've said. And that's good if you want, there's some kind of communication that has to happen. So I might have asked you, have I understood this correctly? And I will have bookmarked it as a check, and you will respond. You might change your manuscript, or you might just leave an answer. When I come back to check your manuscript after you've been through it, if you've made changes, then I will go to the bookmarks. Yeah. Find the checking bookmark, whatever it is, and I will go to that spot. I will see what I said and I will see what you said, and I'll make whatever checks and changes that I need to do. So now don't also forget under review that if you want more than just a bubble up there, right, you go to show comments and it'll come up in this side pane. That's it. And maybe just need to restate that once you've finished reviewing and you are happy with what you see, I mean, with a line edit, it can be very time consuming to go through every edit by themselves. But when you have gone through maybe a chapter or two, you get the idea of what I've done, and you might then just go, yeah, that's fine. I really like what she's done. I'm going to accept it all. So then you go here to accept, and you accept all changes, and you accept all changes and stop tracking. And that cleans up your manuscript. Okay, makes it nice and clean. And then after me, we'll send it off to a proofreader to get proofread, and they can start with a nice clean document, because they don't want to get a document that's already got masses of track changes on it that haven't been accepted or rejected. So that is it. That is, let's see, I'm going to make this visually interesting by going to my right click styles, heading 1, And I'm going to say this is the end of the video. Whoops, the video on how to use track changes. See you later. Bye.